Forget what you see on the nightly news. The real global power struggle isn't being fought with diplomatic speeches or on traditional battlefields, it's happening silently, in the invisible realm of data and silicon. What if I told you the US government has unlocked a new form of economic warfare, a strategy to assert dominance and potentially redirect billions in global revenue, all without raising a single domestic tax? This isn't a hypothetical scenario, it's the reality of a new Cold War, and it's happening right now. The weapon of choice? A piece of technology so small it fits in the palm of your hand, yet so powerful it holds the key to the future of our planet. For decades, oil was the lifeblood of the global economy, the resource that built empires and started wars. Today, that title belongs to something else: high-performance artificial intelligence chips. These are not the simple processors in your laptop or phone. These are supercomputers on a chip, the engines of the AI revolution. They are the critical infrastructure behind everything from breakthroughs in drug discovery and climate modeling, to the development of autonomous weapons and sophisticated surveillance networks. To control the supply of these chips is to control the pace of progress itself. It's the ultimate strategic high ground in the 21st century, and at the absolute pinnacle of this new world order stand two American titans, Nvidia and AMD. Once known primarily to gamers and PC enthusiasts, these companies have transformed into geopolitical linchpins. They have engineered the most sought-after technology on Earth. Their advanced GPUs are the undisputed kings of AI, capable of processing staggering amounts of data at lightning speed. They don't just build chips, they build the very foundation of our AI-driven future. And that is precisely why the US government has made its move. The strategy is a masterclass in modern statecraft, a complex web of export controls aimed at one specific customer, China. This isn't about taking a simple cut of profits. It's about weaponizing dominance. By dictating who can and cannot buy these chips, Washington has effectively placed a chokehold on China's technological ambitions. This is the boldest move in the US-China tech rivalry yet, a direct assault on the heart of Beijing's global ambitions. The implications are staggering. Will this cripple China's tech sector or galvanize them to achieve self-sufficiency faster than ever before? What does this mean for companies caught in the crossfire? And is this pushing us toward a splinternet, a fractured digital world with two competing ecosystems? The battle for the future has begun, and the first shots have been fired. The date is August 10, 2025. For months, the world of high-performance computing has been holding its breath. A digital iron curtain had descended, cutting off China from the West's most advanced AI technology. Giants like Nvidia and AMD, once titans of the global market, found themselves locked out of their single largest customer base. Billions in potential revenue vanished overnight, and the entire semiconductor industry felt the chill of a new tech Cold War. The official reason? National security. The unofficial reality? A high-stakes chess match for technological supremacy, with the world's most powerful chips as the pawns. Then, the news breaks. Not with a whisper, but a thunderclap that echoes from Silicon Valley to Shanghai. The headline is electrifying. Nvidia and AMD could resume selling their cutting-edge AI chips to China. The very engines of the AI revolution are back on the table. A collective sigh of relief ripples through boardrooms. But the relief is short-lived, because buried in the fine print is a clause so audacious, so unprecedented, it leaves analysts and executives speechless. The condition is simple, yet staggering. To regain access, these American tech giants must hand over a flat 15% of their gross China sales revenue directly to Washington, not profit. This isn't a tariff paid by the importer. This is a direct slice of the top-line earnings, a multi-billion-dollar tribute paid by American companies for the privilege of exporting their own products. Washington frames it as a national security recoupment fee, a way to fund domestic AI research and safeguard against the very technology they're now allowing to be sold. Immediately, legal scholars are in an uproar. The move appears to be a direct assault on one of the Constitution's oldest and clearest prohibitions. For over 2 centuries, Article 1, Section 9 has been a bedrock principle of American economic law, designed to prevent the federal government from crippling the economies of exporting states and to ensure American goods could compete freely on the world stage. Here's why experts are stunned. The Constitution explicitly forbids taxes on exported goods. So how is this legal? This 15% slice isn't a traditional tax, it's tied to export licensing. Here's the stunningly clever, or perhaps dangerously cynical, loophole. Government lawyers argue this isn't a tax because it isn't compulsory. Nvidia and AMD can simply choose not to export to China. The 15% is merely a voluntary condition for receiving a special export license, a license the government has broad authority to grant or deny based on national security. It's a masterful piece of legal jujitsu, transforming a prohibited tax into a permissible fee. The message from Washington is blunt. If you want to play in this high-risk, high-reward sandbox, you play by our rules, and you pay for the privilege. April 2025, export ban hits. Nvidia lost $5.5 billion, AMD $800 million. Now they've been thrown a lifeline, with golden handcuffs. Nvidia's H20 chip, $4.6 billion in Chinese sales. At 15%, that's $690 million to the treasury. Across both companies, the total haul could reach $2 billion annually. The move sets a terrifying precedent. If the United States, the long-standing champion of free trade, can erect a digital toll booth for its most critical technology, what's to stop other nations from following suit? Imagine a world where the European Union taxes access to its vast consumer data, or where OPEC nations add a technology surcharge to every barrel of oil. China, holding a near monopoly on rare earth minerals essential for everything from smartphones to fighter jets, could retaliate with its own export tax, grinding global tech manufacturing to a halt. This isn't just a trade dispute, it's a potential blueprint for a fractured global economy where access to innovation is no longer a right, but a privilege you pay for. For Beijing, the irony is as sharp as a silicon wafer. China gets the advanced semiconductors it desperately needs to fuel its ambitions in AI and military modernization. But every yuan spent becomes a direct subsidy to its greatest rival. This isn't pocket change. We're talking about a potential river of gold, billions of dollars, flowing directly into the US Treasury. That money could then be funneled back into America's own semiconductor ecosystem, funding a new generation of fabs, supercharging R&D at agencies like DARPA, and widening the very technological gap China is trying to close. It's a strategic masterstroke of economic jujitsu, using an opponent's own momentum against them. The immediate fallout would be chaotic. Expect an avalanche of legal challenges at the World Trade Organization, with nations arguing this violates the core principles of global commerce. Tech giants from Silicon Valley to Seoul, caught in the crossfire, would launch their own frantic legal battles to protect their supply chains. Inside Washington and capitals around the world, the policy would ignite ferocious debates. But the shockwaves would extend far beyond semiconductors. Every other technology-dependent sector is now on high alert. The automotive industry, green energy, biotechnology, they are all watching this unfold, wondering if their industry is next on the chopping block in this new era of weaponized interdependence. So what is this? Is it a stroke of genius diplomacy? A bold, non-military gambit to secure American technological supremacy for the 21st century? A way to rewrite the rules of global power and force rivals to pay for the privilege of competing? Or is it a dangerously short-sighted precedent that shatters the foundations of global trade, a Pandora's box that unleashes a new kind of Cold War, fought not with missiles but with tariffs and technological blockades? A move that could cleave the world in two, creating a digital iron curtain and forcing every nation to choose a side. The future of innovation hangs in the balance, resting on the edge of a single microscopic chip. What do you think? Let's discuss in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech analysis.